Hello, and welcome to episode 183 of Daryl Show Your Work. In this episode, I'm going to be showing how to implement the principle of least privilege through the use of a few controls within a Windows platform. So before I get started on that, just want to remind everyone to please go check out INE for its wide array of award-winning cybersecurity training and certifications. They range from red teaming penetration testing to blue teaming incident response and everything in between that's going to give you that hands-on experience as far as solving problems and high in demand, equipping you with high in demand skills that employers are looking for within this current market. All right. So if you go to get.ine.com/Daryl and use product code INF 100-Brooks Tech at the checkout, you'll be able to save 10% on any of your purchases with the exception of live virtual trainings. So that link and promo code is going to be in the show notes below. And without any further ado, let's get started. All right, so the first thing that I'm going to be showing here in terms of implementing the principle of least privilege, and when I say that, for those that may be watching that don't know what that means to basically give users the amount of just the amount of permissions they need in order for them to perform their work duties. All right, so the first thing I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to be removing admin privileges from a user. So let's say that this user went from the admin role to a non-admin role. All right. So to start off doing this, right here at the bottom of what the taskbar, I'm going to right click on the PowerShell icon. Hold on, not sure what happened there. Let's try that again. All right, and then I'm going to open that as run that as administrator. So I have the full level of privileges that I need in order to perform the task. All right, so let's increase the font here just so everyone watching can follow. So I'm going to just increase that to 20. All right, and that should be large enough. And let's maximize that. All right, so first I want to list all members here of the administrator groups. All right, so in order to do that, I'm going to say get local group member dash group. And then I want to specify administrators. All right, just checking my syntax here. All right, so, okay, let me input a quote here. Almost forgot. All right, so again, what this is going to do is this is going to list out all members of the administrators user group. All right, so it looks like we have 4 different users here. All right, so I want to if I want to look more into David here. All right, so I want to check the description of the user David. So in order to do that, let's modify this a bit. So instead of get dash local group, I'm gonna say get dash local user. All right, then I want to specify the name dash name, and then we want to know more about David. All right, so we can see that David is part of the IT department. All right, so let's say that for this, so I know that David just he just onboarded to another position within the company that's not in the IT department. All right, so that this information may be out of date. So the first thing before updating this information I want to do is I want to make sure that I strip David of his administrator or privileges, because if I don't, something called privilege creep may happen. And what privilege creep is when you have a user within a system that has too many permissions, or permissions that are out of the scope of their, or privileges rather, that are out of the scope of their current work position. So you may have someone, let's say, that may move to finance, all right, and they just may be a regular employee in finance. And if they had a previous system admin job, I know this is kind of a silly scenario, but I'm just painting the picture for you that you wouldn't want somebody in finance necessarily having system administrator privileges unless there was some reason that they needed it. You wouldn't want them to walk around with with those privileges. For one, that may cause insider threat, intentionally and unintentionally, or having too many administrator accounts within your network would give an intruder more options or more accounts to target in terms of escalating their own privileges. So um, that's one thing we have to. There's a few things that we have to keep in mind. So in order to begin taking away David's privileges, I would say remove dash. Well, let's see. I can go back here. Yep. All right. Let's go and change this get to a remove instead of having to write that whole thing out again. All right. Let's fix that. So we want to remove local group user, local group member, and then we want to basically take David out of the administrators group. So I'm going to say here, um, member, and then David. All right. Just checking my syntax here. Excuse me. Um, everything looks good to go. All right. So again, what this is going to do, it's going to remove the administrative privileges from the user David. All right. So I didn't get any messages back. So that's a clear indicator that worked. Now, let's say I wanted to add David instead to the IT group. All right. So in this case, David did move to the IT department, but he accepted another position that didn't require IT. That didn't require administrative permissions. So there's a user group that I can add him to that doesn't have the same level of privileges. All right, and that's what I'm going to do here. And that group that I'm going to move him to is called it's called IT. All right, so let's modify this a bit. So instead of remove, I'm going to change remove to add, and then I'm going to change the group name from administrators to IT. All right, then I'm going to still leave David as the member there, since he is the user account that we're adding to that user group, and this should give him the correct amount of user privileges that he needs in order to do his new role. All right, so he's been removed from the administrators group, and now he's been added to the IT group. So now let's say that I wanted to set a password expiration policy. All right, so in order to do that, let me open up the run option here in taskbar. All right. And from here, I'm going to run open the following file to open a local security policy, and that file is sec um, pol, which is short for set policy. Let me clean that up. And it's still not acting okay. All right, and then the extension is MSC. All right, so let's open that up. All right, expand this a bit. All right, so in here, I'm going to expand account policies. All right, and then within account policies, I'm going to go to our password policy here. All right, so we can see here that I have a list of options of different things that I can configure. So the first thing that I'm going to configure here is the set maximum password age. All right. and this isn't a recommendation or anything as far as this is just me. So I'm going to set his password age to, let's say, let's change that to 30 days. All right. Let's apply and okay. All right. And then I want to also I want to set the minimum password length. All right. Let's make that 12 characters. Apply and okay. All right. And then I want to enable the password must meet complexity requirements. All right. So right here, that's disabled at the moment, and I want to enable that. So what that's going to do is going to require a mix of uppercase, lowercase, um, authorized special characters, not all special characters, because we don't want certain special characters like greater than, less than signs, things that can be used to execute code from a text box or from a command line. So we don't want to enable those type of special characters, but things like a bang character or ampersand or dollar sign. Those are examples of characters that we want to enable to add some complexity to the password. All right. So that's that. And then also, I wanted to show how to use a local security policy to limit privileges. So by configuring policies within the user rights assignment section, administrators can limit user or privilege or group privileges, control access to system resources, and strengthen overall systems security and support the implementation of the principle of least privilege. All right, so I'm going to go back to run here. Let me see. Yeah, I don't have that open anymore. Okay, so I'm going to bring run back up, and I'm going to open up another file here. All right, so this time I am going to open up the GP edit, which is the group policy editor. All right, so GP edit um, .msc. All right, this is going to bring up the group policy editor, where this is where I'm going to open up the this is where I'm going to set some local group policy. So let's maximize that and then stretch this out a bit so it's clear what I'm clicking on. Okay, so in the left hand panel, I'm going to expand from computer configuration here. um, I am going to expand the Windows settings, then security settings, and then local policies, and then user. I'm click on user right assignments. All right, so we can see a bunch of different options here, but I'll need to configure the allow log on through our remote desktop services. All right, and so what this is going to do is going to prevent users or groups from logging on through remote desktop. All right, so again, let's say that David, his again did some let's say IT service desk or ID help desk, IT help desk may require the use of remote desktop protocol. All right, so David's doesn't. So let's say I'm adjusting that for David to make sure that, again, if someone doesn't need to have remote desktop enabled, that needs to then be disabled for that user account. All right, so let's see. Let me see. Where's RDP at? Here we go. All right. All right. So now, once I have that open, all right, I am going to, let's see. I don't need to, looks like I need to remove this here. Okay, let's remove just that. All right, remote desktop users. I'm going to remove that, and I'm going to hit apply, and then okay. All right. So basically, this is going to only allow only administrators to use RDP. So remember, um, David, he's not an administrator anymore. So meaning that he doesn't fall into the category of users that can use RDP. All right. So then next I'll need to configure the deny access to this computer from the network. And this right here, all right? So that I'm configuring this next. And what this is going to do is going to prevent unauthorized users from accessing a computer over the network, a remote computer outside the network over this network. All right. So they can't just remotely connect to it. All right. So um, within here, give me a moment here. Um, let me see. Did I click on the wrong thing here? Let me see. Make sure I'm in the right thing. Okay, I think I was. Okay, there's the button. I don't know why I didn't see this button before. Okay, so here I'm going to need to add actually specify the user in the group that I want to have deny um, um, accessing a external computer to from this network. All right, so right now the guest account only falls under that. All right, so I'm going to add an account here. All right, so within here I am going to type objects. We'll click objects and type. So I need to add groups here. All right. All right. Now that I have a group selected, all right. Now I'm going to type the IT group here. I had to specify that first. All right, so type of IT, and when I hit check names, now they're specifying the full relative name of the IT department here on the domain, and basically I'm telling it to not to allow anybody within that user group to be able to access an outside computer from remotely from over this network. All right, and so in order for everything that I just changed here, in order for that to be applied and to be persistent, I'm gonna have to enter in the following command. So which is GP update, which is short for group policy update enforce. All right. So again, what this is going to do is going to apply those changes to the group policy that I just made. And just checking my syntax here. That should be good. All right, looks like the policy is actually updating. And the last thing here, okay, good. All right, so the last thing here is that I want to enable auditing and logging as well. All right, so if I go back to the group policy editor, all right, and I need from here, I'm going to need to go to the Windows. So, well, let me see. I need to actually just go to advanced audit policy, which let me see audit policy, and I need to expand this. Let me see. No, let me see. I should be an option here for advanced audit policy. Ah, I'm in the wrong menu. Okay, here we go. Advanced audit policy configuration. All right, this is what I want. All right, then from here, I need to select system audit policies. Okay, so what I need to so just want to kind of go through each one of these here, or a few of these, and just explain what they are. And as I'm going through, I'm just going to just click up apply and okay to the changes that I'm going to make here. All right, so the first thing I'm going to change is the log on log off policy. All right. So what this does that this tracks all log on attempts and helps detect unauthorized access. So I want to go to audit log on, and I'm gonna check this off, and I want to be able to track both successes and failures. All right. So I can have so I could be able to track successful log on log in attempts. This will help me to track issues such as will be able to detect maybe things such as brute force attacks, or if someone were to log in, something were to happen, go missing on the system, or some damage were to happen within the network of the system here. I could be able to track what accounts were on around the time that the incident happens, to be able to correlate a timeline of events of things that happen. All right, so going back here to the list, the next thing I want to modify here is object access. All right, and then within object access, it's the audit file that system that I want to enable to be able to track success and failures on. And what this is going to track access to files and folders, and it's critical for detecting unauthorized file access. All right. So again, this is going to create a trail of who access what files and directories when. All right, the next thing that I'm going to modify is account management, and under account management is going to be the audit security group management. See all that. All right, right here. All right, so what this is going to do is going to monitor changes to security groups, and it is going to be critical for detecting insider threat attempts to gain unauthorized privileges. All right, so anyone that tries to maybe escalate their privileges from a normal user to an administrator user, or having global system access, it's going to track that to see, to see who tried to attempt to do that, and did they have the proper authorization to do that. All right, next, I want to make changes here. Go here to policy change. All right, and then within policy change, it's the audit authentication policy change that I'm going to make changes to, and I'm going to again track success and failures to. And what this is, it detects changes made to the authentication policies, which could be part of an insider attack to weaken the security policies. All right, so as I'm going through here and I'm changing certain policies, well, we want to be able to track to see who else may have gone behind me to do the same thing. And if somebody were to intrude into the system, and they have a pretty good they have a pretty good amount of knowledge of Windows administration, where they would know how to go in here and could turn things off, and to give themselves access to things, or to turn off certain logs, or auditing like we're doing now, to be able to do the reverse, to be able, so any actions that they would have taken after turn that off wouldn't have been tracked. So we could at least be able to track to know when they turn what user turned that off, to be, and then kind of gain an idea of, okay, this user turned this off, and then all of a sudden these things happen shortly after the time that they turned off this authentication policy change. All right, so I'm gonna track that, apply it, okay. And then lastly, I'm going to go here to privilege use, and within privilege use, I want to audit the sensitive privilege use um, monitoring settings. All right. So what this is going to do, this is going to detect when privileged actors, like running administrative tools or modifying critical settings, are performed. All right. So just like I'm doing this here, we want to be able to track to see when someone else who has administrative privileges are doing similar things to what I'm doing here. All right, we want that to be tracked, because again, that's going to help track a unauthorized privilege escalation, or a user who's not supposed to have escalated privileges doing certain duties that they're not authorized to do. All right, and so basically, with auditing effectively enabled, it's going to ensure the compliance with the principle of least privilege, and users are granted the necessary access. Administrative rights are restricted, and the password policies are enforced, and detailed logs are maintained and tracked. The unauthorized activities. All right, so that's essentially what accomplished here in this last step. So this brings me to the end of my video. So the takeaway from this is to basically to follow follow these steps. There's probably more steps that you could follow, but to follow these steps as a foundation to ensure that users within your domain, within your network, within your system, on those various levels will have just as much, just enough privileges to do their job or to do what it is that that account is made for, and not to move outside the scope, and to be able to track when that happens, or be able to track when you do have an unauthorized account on your system, to know that okay, only these set amount of accounts have have system-wide privileges or have administrative privileges. So then you'll be able to tell, you know, what account shouldn't be on your system, or what account shouldn't have that level of privileges and may have actually been compromised by an outside intruder. So please like, share, and subscribe. Most importantly, show your work. And please check out INE for their cybersecurity certification and training offerings. You will not be disappointed with uh, um, the hands-on training that you'll receive. Again, these are high in demand skill sets that employers are looking for in the cybersecurity arena. Incident response, penetration testing, system administration, so on and so on. All right. And again, that product code is in the in that link is in the it's in the show notes. Until next time, take care of yourself and God bless.